So then we launched. Sorry. And this is, we gave an exclusive to this sort of email newsletter called Thrillist. It's sort of like a daily candy. And we had decided they were a person, you can't buy space in here. They're a person who's recognized as trusted. They don't run ads, as you can see. And it would be it's cool, and people would send it to each other. So then we threw a party in Boston. That's me getting loose. We had worked very hard, so we were just blowing off some steam. And then we were live. And I think in the first weekend, we had 40,000 people come. And for us, that was awesome. We were like 40,000 people had come to the site, had done Glassbooth. And I remember Alex and Robert making predictions, and Alex actually makes websites that if we could get like 25,000 people, awesome, by like the end of the year, this and that. So we were happy, and we just continued to spread the word. Is this going to help me play videos?
I don't know if it'll play, but it'll help you hear.
Help here. That's good enough. So basically, we were just trucking along, going, and for a couple weeks, updating the data, keeping it fresh, trying to spread the word. And then we got, a couple weeks later, our first big break, which it was actually on television, but you'll be hearing in radio right now.
It's 7 weeks from tonight. The first votes of the president.
That's Katie Couric on CBS Evening News.
The presidential campaign will be cast in the Iowa caucuses. And here tonight's campaign await notebook. And if you're wondering which presidential candidate is most in sync with you on the issues, 3 24-year-old buddies have started a kind of Match.com website they say can help you. Go to glassbooth.org, answer a few questions about your positions, and you're matched with a candidate. The site's been up just over 2 weeks, and already nearly 100,000 people have tried it.
When people came to the site, we had captured this huge audience, and it was interesting because the producer of Evening News had called me up, and she said, we're thinking about doing a story, asked me a few questions. 1 hour later, it was on television. So that's how quickly television moves. We learned the power of television rather quickly. This is what people saw when they came to the site after all those people on television. They crashed the site. We hadn't prepared for that type of traffic spike, and people were getting a blank screen. So missed opportunity in some ways, but lesson learned. And we were going to take off from there. The word was out. So this is sort of close look in Google Analytics form of our entire traffic history. So sort of here's our launch. And as expected, we had a small spike. Then it would even out very slowly. And right here is Katie Couric. And who knows how high it could have been, but I don't imagine much higher than this. We did get the servers fixed as quickly as we could. Right over here is we did a partnership I'll talk about later with Dish TV to bring Glassbooth to interactive television, and they sent out a bunch of PR materials around it. Right after is a Wired article that we got. That's interesting because it sort of sustained an amount of buzz. At this point, a lot of people are using Glassbooth, and it's sustained because the people who read Wired are bloggers. They're people who are influential online, and they can sustain an amount of buzz. Right here is Super Tuesday, which I'll talk about. And right here is a spike that dwarfs all our other traffic. And can anyone guess what that would be? OK. That's actually, for anyone who knows, Perez Hilton. That's a celebrity gossip blog that covers celebrity nipples and other who's in rehab and who's not. But a small article on there, and all of a sudden, you have 100,000 people within 4 hours going to your website. I want to take a closer look, though, at our traffic and something using Google Analytics that we found and really we think is pretty powerful. This is, this represents the first 3 states that had primaries. Iowa, New Hampshire, Michigan only had a Republican primary. And what you see is traffic, steady and low traffic. And each spike here represents the day before and the day of their primary. And what it tells us is this. It's that people were using our service, people were using Glassbooth to inform their decision at the polls. People were going to Glassbooth right before they went to the polls. And for us, we had thought that would be great if that happened. And now we can see, with the thanks of Google Analytics, that it did. So people start thanking us. We start getting emails. And the emails were, I think, particularly that was inspiring. You get people who are like, I'm so busy, thank you for this. You have teachers who are like, my students don't care. I'm going to bring this into the classroom and try and inspire them and see if this interests them. So for us, that was awesome. But then the phone starts ringing. And we work out of my house. There's an office there. And the phone starts ringing. And on the other end, it's IBM. And it's Newsweek. And it's MySpace. And it's all these companies, these Fortune 500 companies. And they've seen what we've done, and they want to do work. And so we start engaging them in different partnerships. And this is really sort of interesting for us because we had to put on sort of a front that we were a robust organization, that weren't in our pajamas in my downstairs making this happen while they were in the room with their lawyers and everyone negotiating these deals. To draw a parody on it, actually, I don't know if Alex has given me approval to tell the story, but Alex was handling our relationship with Dish Network. And Dish Network has a large legal team, and it was a legal nightmare, if you can remember, trying to negotiate this deal and get it through because they put it on a very fast track because of the timeliness of the election. So he's on it. He has a day job, as we all did at the time. When he has scheduled conference calls, they think we have this office, we have all this, employees and all this. He goes to a coffee shop in the basement of his building. He sits in there, but it's too loud to talk, so he puts it on mute. When he can sense that he's about to say something, he goes into a bathroom stall, sits down, and unmutes it, and is like, okay, yeah, let's do that deal. And then mutes it back on, sits in the coffee shop. This is sort of just to draw a parody of what it was like for us, a very strapped small organization, to be negotiating with these larger Fortune 500 companies. So part of the lesson there is really, if you are a small company, you can do great things with no resources through these type of partnerships, and that's been sort of our model. This is a picture of what ended up going to, that's funny, Dish Network. If you have Dish Network, I think there's like 15 million subscribers. You can use your remote control to do Glassbooth. Cool. And I think about 100,000 people a week do it on their television, which was very successful. So that's us.